Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm a teaching and learning specialist here at Coursera. What is backwards design? It's a design process that instructional designers and educators love, and one that we strongly recommend you use as you create your courses and specializations on Coursera. In this video, we'll look at how backwards design is actually a pretty unnatural way of thinking, but one that has huge benefits for you and your learners. Many of you already use backwards design in your on-campus or online work, but we hope that this short video will be beneficial both to those who have used it extensively and to those who have never heard of it. What makes backwards design backwards is that you're going to start by thinking about where the learners will end up instead of where they start. Counterintuitively, the last thing we want to do in backwards design is think about what we're actually going to create to help our learners get to where they're going. To be clear, this way of thinking is highly unnatural. When we begin thinking about what we want to teach, we usually think about things like a great work of art or literature, maybe a programming language. We think of something tangible and concrete. We might think, I'm going to teach Shakespeare. I'm going to teach Python. But with backward design, we have to start with the hypothetical. Specifically, we have to think about the future state of our learners once our time with them is over. What will our learners be like after their experience with us? What are the desired results of our instruction? What do we want our learners to be able to know, to be able to do, and to feel about our subject? To get to this, the first step is to sit down and write learning objectives for your course. Learning objectives go by many other names based on the pedagogical theory you subscribe to. Learning outcomes, performance objectives, learned competencies, and so on. We welcome you to explore the nuances of this, but for our intents and purposes, we're going to assume they mean about the same thing. We'll go into more detail about writing learning objectives in a later video. Once you have your learning objectives in hand, we then have to determine how to know whether the objectives have been met by our learners. In other words, what would our learners have to do to prove that they have actually mastered the objectives we have in mind? This becomes our assessment plan. Keep in mind that when you're creating your assessment plan, you do have the option to go back and alter your learning objectives if you realize they don't meet your needs. Writing, or at least drafting assessments before making any lecture videos and instructional materials may feel very counterintuitive, but it has lots of advantages. It puts the learner and her activities first. It focuses on outcomes rather than your input, and it makes the design of instruction, when you get to it, much simpler. Trust us. In this phase, we recommend focusing on the summative assessments, the quizzes, projects, and assignments that will constitute the learner's final grade. Now on to the last step. With our learning objectives and summative assessments in hand, we get back to the beginning. What are the instructional experiences we're creating for our learners? Only then do we start thinking about our lecture videos, our course readings, and the resources and examples we'll use to illustrate our points. We can also add formative assessments and other interactive activities here. Backwards design may feel a bit counterintuitive, even unnatural, but it's the gold standard of curricular design, especially for Coursera learners who are hungry to expand their minds and transform their lives. If learning objectives matter most to them, they should matter most to us as well.